Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Nerdy 430, the podcast where comedian Tim Keck and I talk about nerdy-ish things for 30-ish minutes. My name is Kevin Bauer, and we have a very special episode for you today. Very excited about this one. We've seen a lot of movies in our lifetimes. We've talked about a lot of movies on this pod. Can we predict which of the movies coming out this year are going to be good and which of the movies coming out this year are going to be complete and utter garbage? We're calling it Nerdy for 30 presents SCORECASTING. SCORECASTING. Tim, how you feeling? You feeling good coming into this? You're laughing at the name.
I'm feeling okay about the name. I'm excited to go through these movies, though. I think it'll be fun. I've got takes on takes on takes, Kevin. But for all these movies I haven't even seen yet, I'm ready to rock and roll.
Oh, my God. That's right. We are going to be judging books by their covers today on the show. All we have to go off of for these movies are, trailers, maybe a poster or some set photos. In some cases, only the title. But I think just based on our own histories, we should be able to lock in and get some pretty accurate answers. This is going to be lightning round format. We're going to spend no more than 5 minutes on each of these movies, and then we're probably going to run out of time by the end, so we'll just cram in the rest with whatever time we have left. Ready to get started, Tim?
Let's get to it. You know what movie, Kevin, I am the most excited for on this list that we put together? My numero uno number one favoriteest movie for 2022?
I know exactly what it is.
Jackass Forever, my dude.
Yeah!
Fuck yes. I saw this trailer come on. Was it before the Eternals when we were in the theater? That was the most pumped I've been for any trailer ever. These guys are geniuses. This is the height of art. I will never write a joke or tell a story or do a podcast as funny as these guys getting hit in the nuts by different stuff. I love Jackass. They've given us so much, and they're about to give us even more. Jackass then, Jackass now, Jackass Forever, my dude.
Oh my God. What do you think? So here's my thing on Jackass Forever. I think audiences are gonna fucking love this movie. I'm ready for it. You're ready for it. This is going to be the collective sigh of relief that all of us have needed at the end of this pandemic that is very much still going on. I think this is going to be like a great way to fucking blow off steam. I think the hardest I've ever laughed at anything was Jackass 2. My prediction is that audiences are going to generally love it. Everybody that loved the original movies is going to love it. I think critics are going to be a little bit harsh and say that the sense of humor hasn't aged well.
I think, a guy falling off of something is ageless. It's a tale as old as time. It's black and white film. It's beauty. It's America's Funniest Home Videos. It's Tosh.0. It's ridiculous. It's just there, man. It's the internet. It's Vine. It's somebody falling down a flight of stairs that are covered in ice. Like, I think 95% of the stuff still works today. I'm here for it.
What do you think the Rotten Tomatoes critics score is going to be? And what do you think the Rotten Tomatoes audience score is going to be?
This is going to be a great movie. When it comes to Rotten Tomatoes, for me, the disparity between the critics and the audience is what determines a great movie. I'm looking for this can be like a 60. This is going to be a critics. You know what? I think this is going to be like a critics like in the 70s. An audience like 89. That's what I think it's going to be. I think critics are going to be like, nostalgic about Johnny Knoxville. That's what I think.
I can see that. I think this is going to be critics. I'll give it a critics 64, audience 85.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
Beautiful. All right, next up, I want to talk about The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson. Here's my unpopular take. I think this movie might suck. I think it might suck.
I think you're wrong. I think this movie's going to slap. I think this movie's going to be outrageous. I think this movie is going to be insane. I think it's going to be great. I think he's going to crush it. I think he's going to destroy. This movie has reached the status of no trailer for me. You know me. You know I hate trailers. If I'm definitely going to see something, I ain't watching the trailer. No trailer. The Batman. I'm all in on it. It's gonna kick ass. It's gonna be great.
Oh my God, dude. Look, I want to clarify that I want it to be good. I don't want this movie to be bad. But I think what I've seen so far of their depiction of the Riddler, like the voice is so weird and goofy, and like the almost sing-song nature of the way that Paul Dano's delivering his lines. It's incredibly cool and terrifying to see Batman being bizarrely violent with some of the street youths. He's genuinely scary. Like, this is maybe the first version of Batman we've seen. Maybe possible exception for Ben Affleck's Batman in Batman v Superman, where you believe that criminals are really afraid of what this guy is willing to do to them. But there's also enough stuff that's like focused on the car in a really strange way. And the car itself is so weird that for all that it looks like they're getting right about Batman, seems like they're getting some, like, I don't know, there's too much car. There's way too much car in the trailers for me.
As a fan of the Fast and Furious franchise, I got to disagree again. No such thing as too much car. You know, you barely had control of your car, man. I want to see the bad car. I want to see all the bad stuff. I was so against this movie before. I was so anti-Robert Patterson or whatever. I just was like, what? The guy from Twilight's going to play Batman? I've just flipped on it. I just have a good feeling about it. I can't even really support it. I kind of like the look of it. I got to tell you, the trailer I saw, I was like, it's okay. But now for whatever reason, the goss on the internet, they're like, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. I have a good feeling about this. I think this is going to be a good movie. I think this is going to be, high 80s on Rotten Tomatoes, critics and audience. I think it's going to be right there. I think they're both going to be in agreement. I think it's somehow going to be artsy enough. I think Batman is like the rare superhero where like critics will like appreciate Batman in a way that they don't appreciate, Thor. I think there's some I think The Dark Knight lent a lot of credibility to Batman as like a character. The Joker movie, which is one of the worst things anyone's ever created. And if you like that movie, I can tell that you're an ignorant person who has bad opinions. Regardless, it's done a lot to legitimize that as a quote unquote like legitimate film. And so I think Batman has that cliche, has that clout. And yeah, I think it's going to be good. I'm all in on it. I bet you it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
Ooh, Tim, God, I hope you're right. Unfortunately, personally, I'm predicting a 52% critic score. And let's give it a 74% audience score.
74%? This is outrageous. A 74. This is going to be an unwatchable film, Kevin. That's what you're saying.
Anything below audience 85 is unwatchable.
That is rough. Let's bounce back from this terrible take with a movie that I know you are going to love. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1. I didn't know until now, looking at your list, that it was a Part 1.
Really?
Again, I'm all in on this Spider. The first one was so good. It was so good. I've been head in the sand with this. I've been like reading about it and stuff, but I don't want to see anything else. I'm all in. I think could do whatever they want now. I don't care. They got a clean slate. You know what? This is how pieces of crap like The Matrix, Rebirth or whatever comes out, is because somebody does so well the first time, you just write them a blank check. I'm writing the blank check. Let me down, I'm putting all my faith in this. I think it's going to be great. I know it's going to be great. They did such an amazing job the first time. If this movie's half as good as that, as Into the Spider-Verse, it's going to be the best movie of the year. High 90s, both of these. This is in the 90s from the critics, 90s for the fans. This is for the people. I'm all in on the Spider-Verse.
Tim, could not agree with you more. This is going to be 99% critics, 98% audience.
Whoa, 98%. That's high, man. That is high. And I think it's going to get there. I think this movie's going to win an Oscar. I think Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is a shoo-in for Best Animated Picture. Well, yeah, I think it will without a doubt be the Best Animated Picture. It should for sure. Had the first Spider-Verse movie. Did they win anything?
I think so. I think they got Best Animated.
I mean, Best Animated is barely an award. Like nobody cares about it, but I care and I'm excited about it. And
I mean, it's a Pixar showcase.
Yeah, it's usually just here's a cool cartoon. There's also the other day, like every Pixar movie is one except for Cars, and like the Academy's out on Cars. Whatever, Cars, and they keep making them. There's like 8 Cars movies, but the Academy is just like no. Toy Story 5 came out, and they're like, yes, we love it, but Cars, they're just like, ugh. They're just something about the Cars is offensive to the Academy.
Look, don't get me started. This is part of a long-standing problem where the Academy refuses to recognize Larry the Cable Guy.
Is he a big part of the Cars franchise?
Oh yeah, man, he's Mater.
Oh,
yeah. He's the big fucking tow truck.
We'll get her done. Go Cars, go. Into the Spider-Verse. Here we roll. Let's move on.
All right. I'll take the next one. Let's knock another quick one off the list. Morbius. I mean, terrible. And I think it's terrible in the way that it is boring. Like Fantastic Four with Miles Teller. I think the biggest crime that this movie has is that it just doesn't do anything with your 2 hours and 12 minutes. And you leave it not ever wanting to see Jared Leto as Morbius ever again. What do you think?
I agree, but you and I are on the problem is we're right, and the rest of the world is wrong about Venom. And I just feel like this is going to be Venom. And I'm looking at the Rotten Tomatoes scores for Venom right now. The 2018 one, 30% critics, 81% audience. And although I am somehow right here with the critics on this one, I bet Morbius is just par for the course, man. It's going to be in the 80s. I'm going to say it's going to be like 82% from the audience. And it's going to be a trash movie. It's going to be 25% on the critics. You know, this is going to be an unwatchable movie. And it's going to fly in the face of my, Rotten Tomatoes gap theory, which is like usually the bigger the gap is, the better the movie. But this is an instance where like, I don't get it. And when we saw the Venom movie, I just complain about Venom every podcast, but we were in that theater. People were dying behind us. And we were looking at each other like, what the fuck is happening? This is the worst thing I've ever seen. So like, I think it's going to be like that. Would I like it to be good? I'd love it to be good, because if this is good, then there's an even better chance that, Andrew Garfield shows up to fight Venom and Morbius or whoever. Like, I'm starting to root for this Sony thing. I wish they would just kind of like concede and just give all their properties to Marvel so we could have like good movies. But if there's a chance of Garfield's going over there, it'd be great. It would just be great if they could do these right. I'm rooting for them to do it right.
It's wonderful.
I'm out on Venom. I'm done. I'm not going to see it in theaters. I'm done with Venom. But maybe they could turn it around. I don't know, man. What do you think?
I had the realization recently that like technically I have the option to not watch Morbius. I'd never really entertained the thought that I don't have to watch it. And I really don't want to. I've seen the trailer so many times. The trailer's been in front of every movie that has come out since January 2019. They're dropping this movie on April Fool's Day of all times. Unfortunately, I think you're right. I think this is going to be like a 20s critic and like an 80s audience because of the Leto army.
This movie also just looks so boring. We know exactly what it's going to be. A stereotypical origin story. This guy is going to go to an island. He's going to get a weird bat bite. He's going to get symptoms. It's going to be like, oh my God, what is this? Oh, I'm going to struggle against like my inner demons. At the end of the movie, I do the right thing and I save the day. And it's like I'm going to fall asleep during this movie. So like, I don't know. Maybe I'll see it if I'm bored or we have to podcast about it. But otherwise, I think I could wait till it's on TV. And the world and technology as society has advanced to the point where we no longer need TV. We're just viewing computer chips, and then the robots get too smart. They destroy all of us, and then civilization resets so we like go full circle and get back to the point where we're watching like TNT during the day. And that's probably when I'll watch Morbius. Yeah.
So like 2025.
Yeah, 2025.
Next up, isn't it your pick? I think it's your pick.
Oh, you did Morbius. Okay. Let's go with Thor, Love and Thunder. I'm all in on this, man. I just saw something the other day that the Guardians of the Galaxy are going to be in this. I'm pumped. I'm all in on this. I love Thor. Thor Ragnarok is maybe the best Marvel thing. I mean, I don't know how long we even need to talk about this. It's going to be great. It's going to be good. It's going to be awesome. High 90s for both of them. Or maybe not mid 90s. It's going to be like mid 90s, but I love this movie. I'm going to love it. It's going to be great. Natalie Portman, welcome back. This is going to be good.
Here's my worry. I am worried that it's going to be the same thing as Guardians of the Galaxy 2, where James Gunn hit this movie out of the park with Guardians of the Galaxy 1, and then Guardians of the Galaxy 2 comes around, and it's really sloppy because he just did all of the things that worked in the first movie more, to the point where they almost became obnoxious in the second movie. I'm worried that the cheekiness that was so refreshing in Thor Ragnarok might get pushed in this movie to the point of obnoxiousness. I know I've seen a lot of stuff where they're talking about like how like bright and colorful this movie is. That is something that really stood out in Thor Ragnarok that I thought was great, specifically because of the surroundings. I'm not sure what the surroundings are going to be. I mean, we know very little about this movie. The presence of Christian Bale is a huge, that's a huge selling point for me, because I think he is an actor with a lot of dignity that wouldn't associate himself with movies that are really bad, unless we're talking about the movie Vice. So do you think I'm being overly cautious here? Because I'm worried we're heading for like a 71% critic and like, dare I say, like a 70% audience.
I think you're being too pessimistic. I just Googled Thor Ragnarok, 93 critics, 87% audience. So even the movie that I'm like, this is the best Marvel, this might be one of the best Marvel movies, the audience is like 87%. I think I disagree with you there, and I think I disagree with most Marvel people, where I just like Guardians 2. I like Guardians 2. I like these big ensemble movies. Age of Ultron is a movie to me that I'm like, I like Age of Ultron. You know why? Because I grew up reading the Avengers and I like seeing all my guys together. I like the first Avengers movie. You know, it's like, it's not the best movie ever, but I like it because it's my guys are together. Like, I'm gonna have a good time, and I can guarantee that I'm gonna have a good time watching this Thor movie. I know I'm gonna have a good time watching this. So for me, it's hard to rate. I mean, you're right. Probably realistically, it's not going to do better than Thor Ragnarok, like on the tomato meter. But fuck the tomato meter. The Tim Keck meter is rock hard for this one. That's going to be my.
Oh my god.
That's going to be my. That's going to be my meter. Is just how many inches this movie gets.
Jesus Christ. Oh my!
And this is
God.
the full 6. Thor, baby. I love Thor. Wow. It's going to be great. I'm going to have a blast watching Thor. I'm going to have such a good time watching Thor. God, I'm just going to, on the loop, I'm just going to watch Jackass forever in this Thor movie. I'm going to be the happiest. I'm going to be a pig in shit, just living my best life between these two movies. I'm so excited.
Oh my God. All right. Well, I'll pick one. Let's see. Here's one that I haven't heard a lot about, and I'm really interested to talk this one through. This will probably be the last long one we get to do. Uncharted. It's dropping on Thursday, February 10th. It's based on the PlayStation video game franchise. It is a clear effort from Sony as a movie studio to position Tom Holland as more of a, big crossover movie star. Apparently, when this movie was in development, Mark Wahlberg was supposed to play the lead, but it's been in development for so long that he now has to play the father figure to the lead. How do you think this movie's going to be? Do you think this is good? Do you think Tom Holland can, step into this role as just an action movie star?
I'm going to like this movie. I know. I can tell, watch the trailer. I'm going to like this movie. This reminds me of Lara Croft Tomb Raider, like the original, like Angelina Jolie's Tomb Raider. It's going to be those. It's going to be that caliber of movie where it's like a great B movie. This is again like a great This is a great like TNT action movie, in my opinion. Oh, yeah. It's going to be one of those. It's going to be one of those where you're flipping channels and you're like, oh, this scene, I love the scene where he's like falling through the air. I'm going to watch this real quick and then I'm going to get back to laundry. Like it's going to be, I feel like it's going to be one of those movies and I'm here for it. Unfortunately, I am actively rooting against Tom Holland's acting career outside of Spider-Man because I want him to fail outside of it and then it's like he has to come back to Spider-Man. Like I just want him to keep being Spider-Man. I think he's great. I don't want another Spider-Man. I want Tom Holland to fail so that he thinks he has no choice but to make like 8 more Spider-Man movies. And that's what I want deep down. I mean, really, I want him to be happy and I want him and Zendaya to make beautiful children together and live happily ever after. But, you know, there's also, you know, my darkest days and my saddest moments. You know, I want him to fail and return home and bring us what we really want.
Yeah. You know, I understand. There's a part of me that feels that way too. I think this movie's going to be great. It's being directed by Ruben Fleischer, who did Zombieland. He did also do Venom, the first Venom movie. But there is still something that's like bizarrely watchable about that movie. And there is something that we've talked about a lot in terms of, you know, even though neither one of us is a huge fan of that movie, there was still something about it that made us want to come back for the sequel, which ultimately disgusted us. The people writing the Uncharted movie are not great. Art Markham and Matt Holloway, when you click into their credits on IMDb, the first one that shows is Iron Man 2008, but then the ones that immediately follow it are Transformers The Last Night and Men in Black International, 2 absolutely god-awful movies. In this case, since it's based on a video game, I think they have the huge leg up that the source material is done. Like, this is not like Transformers where they're trying to spin something out of like a toy line and work with the Michael Bay Transformerverse that got set up. They have the story, and the point of this movie is to start Uncharted as a new movie franchise. So I think they're going to stick to the video games pretty closely, and people seem to love those games. So I think this is going to be great. I'm predicting like a 76% critic score and like a 91% audience score. I think this is going to be a hit.
Whoa. Okay. I never think it was going to be that good, but yeah, probably in the 80s for the audience, I think. I think it'll be in the 80s. 87 for the audience.
I think that's fair. I'll compromise on 87.
Yeah. We ready for rapid fire?
Yeah, let's move into the lightning round here. So we have 8 movies left that we need to talk about. Let's do them as fast as we can. And, you know, for fun, let's assign them to each other. So, Tim, start us off with what you think Black Adam is going to be like.
I think it's going to be trash. I think at best it'll be Shazam, which is like an okay movie that I've only watched once and never felt the need to watch again. Why are we so obsessed with a side character to a character that has his own movie that he wasn't involved in? I don't see how this is good. I'm not convinced in any Rock solo movies anyway. I'm out. It's not going to be good. Kevin, what do you think about Black Adam?
Same. I think it's going to be Shazam, but bad.
Okay. Kevin, Fantastic Beasts, The Secrets of Dumbledore. What's your take?
I think it's going to get the same kinds of reviews as the first 2 in this Fantastic Beasts series, which is that it's really long and not a lot happens. And why are they doing this?
Why are they doing this? They're doing it because it's fun. This is exactly what I want them to do with other things. This is exactly what we like about The Mandalorian. This is exactly what I've been begging them to do with Star Wars. This is a fun world that people have really bought into. There's literally a place called Harry Potter World that you can go and visit. I like that they are taking the opportunity to introduce new characters and explore this space. And I feel like I'm again on the outside looking in, saying, I think this is pretty good. I kind of like these movies. I think I enjoyed them maybe more than the original Harry Potter movies. Maybe that's just because I've watched them so much, because I've read the books. But these, you don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen in these. And I like that. I like seeing the magical creatures. This is just a good time for me. I'm all in on it. I'm not all in on it, but I'm in on it. I think it's going to be nice. Were you going to assign me one?
All right, I'll give you one. Yeah. Okay. Tim. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
I'm not excited about this. I was excited until I saw the trailer after the Spider-Man movie, which seemed like a big middle finger to us as fans waiting to stick around, and we get a trailer. Like, what are you talking about? I don't know what it's about. I don't know anything about this movie. I'm not excited to see it. all the excitement I had before this is kind of gone. I'm going to go and it's going to be good. But right now my expectations and my heart are just sinking to the floor. Kevin, what about you?
I'm with you. I think it's going to be a miss. I don't want it to be a miss. I think it's going to be a miss. This might be, yeah, I think it's going to be a miss. Nothing more to say about it.
Kevin, Avatar 2. Thoughts?
So this is a movie that's supposed to launch 6 more movies in the Avatar franchise. They're supposed to go all the way to Avatar 7. This has been planned for so long, since I think we had just started college is when the first Avatar movie came out, which feels like a lifetime ago. And I think they have put so much money into this franchise. They added it to the Disney parks. They changed the Animal Kingdom to be an Avatar-themed thing. At the end of the day, though, I think the big question is, again, going to be, why did we need more of this?
I 100% agree. We don't need more of this. If that first movie comes out 5 years later, nobody's talking about it. It was the most visually stunning thing I'd ever seen in a TV screen. It was the craziest thing I'd ever seen on a movie screen. It was beautiful. The movie's beautiful to look at. Maybe it's still beautiful, but it's nothing Marvel ain't doing already. You know, they're building whole universes. They created a world where superheroes are battling each other and flying through the air and shooting lasers at each other. Avatar, who cares? Why do we care about this? Why are we still worried about this? What Disney story do you think they're going to rip off this time? They did Pocahontas before. Are we going to get like a Cinderella on the Avatar planet? Are we going to get a...
I hope it's Ratatouille. They already kind of have the thing where you plug in your hair to an animal's hair.
Ratatouille is already too spot on for Avatar. I think they inspired each other.
It was parallel thinking.
Yes, definitely.
Tim, Halloween ends.
Ooh, Kevin, I'm ready for Halloween to end because this franchise has taken a real downward turn. As the Rob Zombies movie did, Rob Zombies, as the Rob Zombie, I can't even get it out. I mean, I can't even sit through these. The first Rob Zombie movie, awesome. Loved it. Second one, sucked. Terrible. The latest Halloween movies, first one, awesome. Loved it. Second one, sucked. Terrible. You really think they're going to pull out of this nosedive successfully, Kevin? No. It's going to end. It's time for it to end. I'm done with this. Kevin, what do you think about Halloween Ends?
I think the one way this works is if they go back to basics and have it be the daughter and she's being hunted by Michael, but trying to figure out a way to hunt him back at the same time because she's kind of been left without anybody. Yeah, I think it's going to be bad. I think it'll be real bad.
Kevin, Jurassic World Dominion? Question mark from me. What do you think?
Terrible. Gonna be so. Did you see the Lost Kingdom or whatever the most recent one was?
Yes. Not good. Not great.
So bad. I think this is gonna be more of the same. I was really bummed out to hear that they got Laura Dern and Sam Neill back for this one, because seeing Jeff Goldblum in the previous one broke my heart that he would stoop so low as to be in a movie that bad. And this is just going to be more of the same.
I'm going to have to give it a rewatch because I'm thinking back fondly on it, but I'm realizing that all of my memories of it are from the first movie. And like the second one was like Chris Pratt is like infiltrating a dinosaur auction. Like it's kind of like, I don't know, man. Isn't the movie called like Jurassic World, Jurassic Park? The farther they get from the park, the farther my interest, wanes from this franchise. Keep it where the dinosaurs are. That's where the action is. I'm all in on that. But
I'm right there with you.
Not excited about this movie.
Tim, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
This sucks. I think this is sad. Chadwick Boseman dying fucking sucks. It's terrible. He seems like a great human being. He was a great actor in this role. And it sounds like they're not recasting him, which I kind of think they should. I kind of think they need to. They either need to bring Michael B. Jordan back, have him do it, or they need to recast. Those are like the options. And, You know, Michael B. Jordan coming back, I think could be beautiful, powerful. They killed him. So like, what do you do? So they're going to have to bring somebody back from the dead. They're bringing one person back from the dead and literally not bringing somebody else back from the dead. Like it's weird. The whole situation is weird. It's a bummer. It's sad. It's like, there's no way that this movie isn't sad. I'm going to cry during this movie. Like I'm guaranteed I'm going to cry during this movie. This is like also further tainted by the fact that this Cherie actress is in her anti-vax ass is delaying the move. Like, even if you're an anti-vaxxer and you want to go like doom yourself and kill off your family, whatever, good for you. But if you're going to delay me seeing the next Black Panther movie because of your selfish, prudish ass, then get the fuck out of here. I'm out on her. I don't want her to see her be Black Panther. Cut her out of the movie. Do what you got to do. Get her out of here because she's holding everything up. We're not going to see this movie this year, Kevin. That's my prediction. It's getting pushed back again, I'm sure.
I think you might be right. I think that's a safe prediction.
I'm sad. I'm sad about this movie. I want it to be great, but also there's so many things involved. Cherie left a sour taste in my mouth. I mean, it's going to be tough. It's just going to be an experience, though.
I mean, there's been a million rumors over who's taken over the mantle. I've heard that Winston Duke may be the person stepping into the role. He played M'Baku in the first one. And I've liked Winston Duke in every single thing that I've seen him in.
Yes, he's amazing. He's really great.
I just feel the pressure on him to follow up, even like still as M'Baku, but stepping into the role of Black Panther. I mean, like, obviously that's going to be mirrored on screen if that does happen. But I think the only sure thing that there's maybe two sure things they had in terms of casting a replacement to step into the new role of Black Panther. One of them is Yugo Okoye. I think people are like, great, she's awesome. We've seen her, I think, in more of the things than we even saw T'Challa in, at least as many.
Yeah.
And then the other option is, I don't care what logistics they have to do to pull it off. If you put Michael B. Jordan in this movie, everybody's immediately on board. Nobody gives a shit. He was so good in the first movie. They wouldn't even have to explain it. They could just say that he's alive again. Everybody's on board. So, you know, I think Winston Duke can pull it off. I think we're going to come out of that movie saying it's a really, really tough thing to do, and he successfully did it.
Winston Duke is an amazing actor. He, as an actor, is more than capable of pulling it off. His character is not Black Panther caliber. His character is dumb. Thing. His character's goofy. His character's a joke. And they would have to do a lot of work. Not that they couldn't pull off a rewarding story arc, but he is not T'Challa. You need an underdog. You need somebody who's smart, who's going to outsmart their opponent. And that's just not who he is. He's not kingly. He lacks the grit to be a king. And unless he goes through a really, truly transformative process to change, like he'd have to change the way his mind works, you know? Michael B. Jordan just has to have like his eyes open, which they were at the end of the movie, you know? So like Michael B. Jordan's the only answer for this. He really is in my mind. But we could have talked about this one for a whole podcast. I can't wait. I mean, I'm excited to see this movie. I want to see more of it. Whatever. Kevin, last movie on the list, The Flash, Flashpoint. In or out, bud? What do you think?
In. I think it's going to be a really fun Batman movie. I think there's not going to be a lot of Flash in this movie. Everything I hear, the only thing people are talking about with this movie is who's coming back as Batman. It's a Flash movie, man. Like Spider-Man No Way Home, of course. It's a Spider-Man movie. That's the point. The Flash, it's a bummer that they can't figure out anything compelling to do with The Flash. The Flash finally gets a standalone movie. And the highlight is that he's traveling through other universes to see Batman. I don't know.
Flashpoint is a very popular story. I watched the animated cartoon. It's great. It's cool. You get to show a bunch of neat stuff. It's the kind of move that DC has not earned the right to do Flashpoint yet. You know, they haven't executed on any of the things that they said they were going to. This could be their like Avengers. This would be their Civil War, basically. And they don't have enough equity, in my opinion, for it. They haven't made solo movies for any of these other characters. It's just, they're just cashing in an IP. I mean, I don't really see how this is a good movie. I've seen people talk about this like it's going to reset the DCEU. and everything's going to turn around and be great and roses from here on out. I don't know how they're suddenly going to start making good movies, even if this does reset everything. Is this going to incorporate the Batman? Is that going to be our new DCEU character from now on? I don't know. I don't see how this is going to be good. I'm going to watch it. I'm excited to watch it, but it's not going to be good.
Yeah.
A really pessimistic note to end the pod on. But I'm proud of us, Kevin. We busted through all of these things. I don't know if this was a longer than usual pod, but we love running over anyway. So I'm glad we hit all these. I think it's going to be a good 2022. We've really got a bounty, a cornucopia of riches, Kevin.
Me too. You know what? Even the ones that we think are going to be bad, I'm excited to see them and see if we were right or if we were wrong. You, listener, do you think we're right or do you think we're wrong? If you're confident enough to go toe-to-toe with us, let us know. Hit us up online. Send us an email, nerdy430@gmail.com. We'll read it on air.
Thanks for listening. Stay nerdy. Bye.
Bye.
Scorecasting.